Alright, what's up, Fortnite? If y'all reacting here for Fortnite, Destiny Jesus put out a video ranking every way to get better at Fortnite. We're gonna react to it. Let's see if it's really the best way.
Be ranking 25 different maps and modes by how effective they are at improving Fortnite into the ultimate tier list. All the way at the top, we've got the max tier, reserved for the most effective ways of improving at the game, and these are the most biggest bang for your buck.
Alright, let's see what you got, bro.
Below that, we've got the pro tier. These are things that work for pros but won't work for most other players. Then we've got the B tier, C tier, and all the way at the bottom, we've got the waste of time, things that you should completely be skipping if you want to get better at the game. If you guys don't know, I've been coaching Fortnite now for 7 years, and I've been making free YouTube videos the entire time explaining exactly how to get better. Everything that I'll be ranking in this video, I've used personally to get over $4,000 of earnings in game, as well as I've used with the thousands of players that I've coached that have helped them earn over $1 million from official tournaments. So without further ado, let's create the ultimate improving tier list. First things first, let's start off with probably the most popular 1v1 map, which is of course build fights. So many people do this every single day, but honestly, it's not that good for improving. Main reason being, it is so unrealistic. You're just building wood over and over. You're very rarely using heals. Most of the people that play this aren't even using the main correct guns for the meta. However, a bunch of pros have done this as their main way of getting better. Veno doing 100 1v1s a day on this map. Even pros like Reason, of course, use it for their main way of improving. So many pros use this map to improve the mechanics and to get warmed up. So it definitely can be useful, but it is not going any higher than that, mainly because it doesn't translate over to real game scenarios too well. Good for practicing retakes, good for practicing, how to read your opponent, but not the best for translating over to in-game scenarios. Next up, we have got 1v1 realistics, and this can just be for any map. In my opinion, this is our first map going up here into the max tier, mainly because it has all the benefits of the Reason, the 1v1 map that everyone does to get your mechanics on, to get your fighting better, but it is much more realistic. You're practicing fighting a brick, you're practicing fighting defensively, you're practicing fighting without wasting too many mats. It's all the benefits of just 1v1 build fights, but it has a load more positives to it as well, and none of the downsides. Only real downside for it is, maybe you don't like doing realistics, so you're pretty good at it, which in that case, you'd be better off doing zone wars. And this is another map that I think is going straight up into this S tier. So many pros have done either realistics or zone wars as their main way of improving, whether it's 2v2, 3v3s. Pros have done this, and it is the main way they've gotten better at fighting. And you can
Zone Wars, boy. If you're really good at Zone Wars, there's a good chance you're gonna be good at in comp. Just look at Zen, for example. He was one of the best Zone Wars players. He went to comp. Obviously, he hasn't had the greatest comp, but like, he's now playing with, I don't know who he's playing with, but he's now doing better than before. I know that. So, props to Zen, by the way.
You can see it in game. You can tell if somebody in game has done a lot of zone wars because their mechanics, their retakes, their map survival and conservation instincts are so much better. These two maps are absolutely elite for getting better at fighting, and there is reason.
You heard him, guys. Zone Wars, realistics. Make sure y'all on that. Be on that.
Why way more pros are playing these maps versus just playing build fights over and over. All right, moving on, let's rank the 4 main ways that people improve their mechanics in Fortnite, starting off with free builds. Now, free builds are absolutely fantastic when you do them in moderation. If you spend like 5, 10, 15 minutes warming up your fingers, getting yourself ready to play before you do anything else, that is a great use of free builds. But what most people do is they enjoy free building. They like just sitting there and spamming builds and spamming edits. And the issue with that is you tend to just repeat bad habits and just bad mechanics that you have. You never really fix anything, and you also just practice what you're already good at. And for the same reason why I ranked the 1v1s a little bit lower, I'm going to do the same for free build. It's very good in moderation. It's like a quick little warm-up, but it definitely shouldn't be something that you're doing for your entire practice routine. Now next, we have got Raiders Mechanics V5. This can basically just be any mechanics map. Resub has got a great one as well. And the main thing that I think with these mechanics maps is they are so good because there's so much diversity in what you can practice. You can work on your weaknesses really, really well, whether that's aim, whether that's mechanics, whether that's piece, whether that's even just doing edits correctly and have the correct crossbow placement. It's so much better in my opinion to do this map, to do any type of mechanic tuning, rather than just sitting there spamming free builds over and over. And for that reason, I'm going to put this in the max tier. Now next, we've got 2 different types of aim training. One, which is Kovacs, which of course is probably the most famous aim trainer, is the best way to get better mouse control and to get better, at aiming. But the key question is, does it translate over to in-game, and can you actually stick with it? If you're somebody that can just play Kovacs a half an hour a day, stick with it for months on end, you're going to get so much better, and it's definitely going to help your aim. But for a lot of people, they can't stick with it. They don't really want to spend that much money on some external Steam game just to play and warm up. So for that reason,
maybe I should
the
right?
pro tier. I think Kovacs is something that most players should probably avoid, and they should instead leave it to pros or people that can get a pay for a custom aim training routine, people that have more time to play each day. Like if you're a pro that can play 8 hours a day versus, you know, one of you guys watching the video can only play 3 or 4.
I'll try to look.
Probably not
I'll
worth
try to
doing
look for a
Kovacs
team.
unless you're getting towards that pro level with a lot
We'll
more
see.
time to commit, and you can potentially pay for an aim
For sure.
coach and get an aim training routine.
Is my chewing too
directly.
loud?
Now,
Am I
the
too loud?
alternative to Kovacs is of course in-game aim training. There's a ton of maps, Raiders map, Resource map, even the Scav maps all have in-game aim training. And for these, I think these also can be useful. They're not quite as good as just doing
Oh,
Kovacs,
alright, good,
because
good.
of course, you know, you're going to miss out on a lot of that extra, you know, finality that you get with those maps where you can really practice different scenarios. There's a lot more general aim training, but for getting used to the new guns, the pull-out times, doing flick training, doing smoothness training in-game, getting used to actually playing on your Fortnite sense and your Fortnite setup rather than using some standard software, it is really good. But again, for most people, you shouldn't be spending more like 5, 10, 50 minutes doing in-game training. So that's why I'm going to put it in the can be useful tier. It's definitely good to do this as part of one of these mechanics maps. Do some mechanics training, then do some aim training, or do aim training, then mechanics. Really good way of warming up. But for most people, it's just going to go in the can be useful tier right here. All right, now let's move on to the main ways of improving in-game. These are the big modes that have the most players, hundreds of thousands of players. Which one is actually the most effective for improving fast at Fortnite? And of course, let's start off with reload. This is the quick mode where you can respawn, you can queue in again over and over. Even if you lose a fight, you can respawn. And for that reason, I'm going to put reload in the mid tier. My big issue with reload, I really liked it when the mode first came out and the guns were pretty similar to the in-game guns or just like pump and AR, is there's so many crazy items in it. There's so many random things that you'll die to. It really doesn't translate that well over to actual in-game fighting. For reload cups, that's completely fine. It's going to translate over, but there's so much randomness. And the big issue is most of the players in reload are absolutely terrible. Even if you get to Unreal, even if you're like top 1000 in Unreal, you'll still be fighting bots pretty much every single match just because of how the matchmaking is. And for that reason, it's pretty mid. You can get in some great quality fights. You can do it and, you know, practice duo fighting your teammate. For the most part, it is just a pretty mid mode and it shouldn't really be the main thing that you're practicing. If they fix up reload, they remove some of the dumb items, they make the matchmaking a little better, it will be going up there into the pro tier or even into the max tier. But at the moment, it is really mid from improving. I don't think you guys should be wasting your time playing reload too much. Next, we have got the big one, which is of course Battle Royale. And of course, we're talking about ranked. You can also just do pubs, but ranked is pretty much the main thing that you should be doing and trying to get yourself into Unreal and get higher up in Unreal. And for me, ranked can be useful. It's not definitely something that you should be playing the entire time, but if you're somebody that lacks in-game fighting ability, if you lack fighting ability with your teammates, I'm gonna say that ranked can be really good to do because you can work on your duo chemistry, your comms, you can work on, you know, your drop spot, your fighting where you're gonna take fights mid-game, practice dropping high kill games. Really good to do. Can be useful for a pro, probably not the most useful thing to do in the world. If you're something that lacks fighting ability, I think ranked is absolutely fantastic. All right, next up we have got scrims, whether it's noble scrims over on NA, like elite scrims, any type of custom code scrims where you're going up against other players. And the big thing with scrims is it depends on who you're playing against. For a pro, scrims are fantastic because they're playing against other pros. It's the best way for pros to get better. It's what they're going to be doing before FNCS. It's what they're going to be doing before cash cups. It's going to be the main thing that they're practicing. But if you're someone like me who, you know, isn't playing in those really good scrim lobbies and you're just playing up against people where it's zone rule games, not the best quality players that you're up against, it's not going to be the most useful. However, you can make it really good practice. If you put yourself in tough situations, if you make it so you're not just going center zone and building a giant brick box and sitting in it until endgame, it can be really good scrim practice if you make it good for you. So it kind of just depends on how you approach it. For a pro, it's fantastic. That's why it's going in the pro tier. But for most players, scrims are as good as you make them. So that kind of just comes down to you guys. If you're going to play scrims and absolutely beg it, it's not going to be the best. But if you play scrims, make it tough for yourself, force yourself to go for refreshes, practice your mid game and your early game properly, it can be really good. The big issue though for most people in scrims is, you know, it's just super unrealistic, not how games are actually played out in tournaments. That's why it's going in the pro tier right there. All right, next up we have got solo ranked. And for me, solo ranked is going straight in the waste of time tier. I used to recommend solo ranked so much and it was probably the best way of getting better. I played it a ton, but solo ranked at the moment is completely useless to play, guys. I'm sorry, but it is really not worth playing. If you're somebody that completely struggles with in-game solo fighting, I guess it could be useful for you, but for the majority of you guys, you'd be better off playing reload, getting in faster, higher quality fights. You'd be better off playing, you know, duo ranked or even just some scrims, in my opinion. Solo ranked at the moment really is not worth it. It's just people lurking around, people, you know, playing absolutely like cringe freaks, which they'd never do in game. I think solo ranked isn't worth it at the moment, but something that is really worth it.
Another upload, another flop. You see, you don't have a content problem.
Let's see what he's talking about.
You have a...
I'm sorry I haven't been reacting. I was eating. But I think solo ranked should be higher. He's only saying it's stupid stuff in there. Okay. That don't remove the fact that you still fight. You still fight a whole bunch. You still fight good players. You obviously fight players. But in game, you're going to fight bad players. You're going to fight good players. It just depends. You can learn how to beat both, because if you only know how to beat good players, but then bad players just spam you, some people don't know how to beat that, and it's the truth. Like, some people don't know how to beat bad players because they don't play against them.
Is playing cross-region cup.
Free building, definitely think he's right about that. 1v1 PGs, that's all I do to warm up, so okay. Ranked, duo ranked or above, I guess.
Moment, but something that is
Scrims, he hit the nail. It's so unrealistic, bro. Most unrealistic
really
thing I've
is
ever
playing
seen.
cross-region cups. This is going straight there up into the max tier, and it's something that a ton of pros do as well, and I'd really encourage that you guys do it as well if you're watching this video and you don't really do it at the moment. Whether it's playing Middle East before you play EU, whether it's playing EU before you play anything, whether it's playing West and just getting some extra games in, playing cross-region for other cups is so much better. Instead of just playing one solo cash cup a week when they're actually running, which of course now they're not, instead you can be getting twice as much practice, and the practice you're getting is much tougher and much harder quality practice, because of course you're on high ping, like 60, 70, 80 ping a lot of the time when you're playing cross region. It forces you to play a lot smarter.
60, 70, 80 cross region. 60, 70, 80. I get 60 on my own server.
And you're getting twice as much in-game tournament experience than everybody else if you do this. That's why it's going straight up there into the max tier. All right, next we've got two modes which are going straight down here into the waste of time. Arenas, complete waste of time. I don't know why, you know, they released it in such a bad state. And next up we've also got zero build, which is going into the waste of time. Unless you're like a zero build up and comer pro, then it could be useful, but for majority of people, zero build is not worth playing, and I would completely skip it. And that's how our tier list is looking as we get into the next creative maps. All right, next we have got a ton of creative maps, and first we're going to be ranking the solo cup endgames. Any sort of zone wars map where it's quite realistic, you've got the in-game meta guns, and you're going up against like 20 or 30 other players where you're practicing a solo endgame. And for me, this is a really good mode, and it can be useful. It's not going up there into the pro tier, of course pros aren't sitting around playing solo cup endgame, and it's not going straight up there into the max tier because it's a little bit limited. But if you're somebody that struggles with endgames, struggles with rotating zones, struggles with actually just understanding the meta and how to rotate, struggles with getting refreshes, this is a great thing to be doing. The main issue with it is it's pretty laggy. It's not super realistic. Like, people just key at the start of it. It's not exactly how in-games would play out. There's not really like a perfect
That was a
map
good pump
that
right there.
demonstrates how good this can be, but it can be useful if you're somebody that struggles at endgames. Definitely want to practice. Next up, we have got the duo versions of these maps, and these are just going into the mid tier. Kind of the same thing as the solo versions, except the duo versions, you just normally get more bad players. A little bit less realistic. It's normally like somebody just keying about like crazy. Not the most, you know, high quality games that you'll get into normally. Can be good though, you know, if you're struggling duo end games. But if you're struggling duo end games, just go play
Why did that guy waste so many maps?
games, right? Let's just be honest. It's better quality practice over there. So those two are going into can be useful for solos and then mid for duos. Next up, we've got a great map, which is this 1v2 clutch realistics. And I'm putting this into the pro tier. I'm not putting it all the way up there into the max tier. Main reason being is pros, if you're doing this, you know, practicing 1v2 against two good players, some of the best practice in the game, right? Absolutely fantastic practice. And there's also another map that I'll include as a little honorable mention here as well, which is this 2v3 clutch realistics map as well. And I've seen a ton of pros starting doing this. So like Ghost recommending it, a bunch of NA pros playing it as well. So these two are both going into the pro tier, basically just practicing clutching in a, you know, 1v2 or a 2v3, so team mode and scenarios. Really good map to practice. The reason it's not going any higher is just because, you know, you can't just be sitting there playing this all day, right? It's good fun, good practice, but you can't be doing this, and it's not going to give you crazy improvement compared to those maps right at the top right here. Definitely two very solid maps, and this map right here is really good as well if you haven't played it. Right, and then finally, we've got our realistics. This is a map where you can do it in 2v2s and 3v3s and 4v4s, and a ton of pros play this map, which makes me think I should put this in pro tier. But the thing is, it's even better than that. It's not like you just need to have a pro to go up against and make this map really good quality. You can do this as part of your friend group. You can do this as a casual player. You can get great practice clutching after a team that goes down. Basically the same as these other maps, just a little bit elevated because you can practice calming with your duo, you can practice the duo fighting, the trio fighting, whatever you want to work on. Really good map. There's a reason a ton of pros play it, and there's a reason why a ton of, you know, regular players as well, part of the friend group plays every day. There's a reason why it's the main token map that people do is that good. I really recommend that you guys play as well. Right, next, we've got three really good ways of improving outside of the game that will help you guys learn a lot. And first of all, we've got VOD views, and I mean specifically VOD reviewing your own games back and trying to learn from mistakes. And this is one of the best ways of improving if you They can, go back and figure out mistakes instantly. You see a ton of pros doing this before F6 difficulties, before F6 finals, whatever they're preparing for, whatever they're trying to learn from. Pros will get a lot out of this, but most average players, they're just going to sit down and replay and go, I got service grade, a little bit unlucky. They're not going to take away a ton. If you're wanting to get better at what you're doing, what I'd really recommend is something that Chino told me that he did to get so good at fighting one of the best fights in the world. It's just turn on clips, so every single time you die, you can clip it and then go back and watch the mistake that you made. That will help you get better at fighting within a day. Like, it's just crazy how much better you get. Imagine you play that much ranked or much and every time you die, you go back and watch and fix your mistake, you'll be getting better so much quicker than other people that you're competing against. Really, really good way, underrated way of doing it. But for the most part, doing your own VOD views is going into this pro tier right here, because pretty much only pros are going to get a ton of value out of it. And next up, we've got any sort of general comp-related Fortnite video that's out there. I've got a picture from Resub's video, we do some mechanic training and stuff, and this can apply for any sort of content creator like Sarcoma, Rantium, Resub. Loads of these guys are making great high-quality videos, and they're so good to learn from. And I'm going to put this straight up here into the max tip. The main reason being is it's very, very passive. It's not like you just have to sit down, go and replay yourself. These guys are putting in tons of hours of work, and they're compressing it into like a 10-15 minute video for you to learn from. And if you pay attention, not just sit there on your phone while you're watching it, you're going to take away a ton of information. Whether it's new pro strats that people are doing, whether it's the new meta, whether it's new fighting things that strats. CS finals, going back and watching, team that won like an off-spawn track that you want to copy. Even, some of the videos I post are basically explaining with a pro and going through their thought process sort of inside the mind. Those videos I think are absolutely great, except they're not for everybody, right? It kind of depends if you're someone that learns from other people and then explain the thought process or not. That's why I'm going to put it in this can be is going to the gym. Doesn't really matter what you're doing at the gym, whether it's like powerlifting, bodybuilding, calisthenics, whatever it is. I think going to the gym is absolutely fantastic, of course, for all the health benefits, but for getting better at Fortnite specifically, going to the gym actually has a ton of studies around it. There's one that's basically helps you get blood flow and oxygen to your brain. That actually helps improve your reaction, your processing speed, so you can actually get better aim just by going to the gym, which is kind of crazy as well. There's also a bunch of studies on it where it basically helps reduce how tilted you get. Basically,
Niggas is not going to the gym. Destiny Jesus. Niggas is not going to the gym. No one's going to the gym.
a really stressful cup and you actually milk a game, what would happen is your cortisol would spike up all the way. You get super stressed. If you're somebody that gets shaky and nervous, going to the gym will probably end up fixing that, funnily enough. So it's one of the best ways of getting and fixing all those things. Also some other benefits, fixing like any hand problems that you've got, any pains that you've got from just playing way too much, can help you have better mental endurance as well. Really a ton of benefits to go into the gym. Physically you're obviously going to be better that way, but mentally when it comes to Fortnite playing, it's going to help you a ton. The reason I'm not putting it all the way up into max it's not all the good things I'm saying, is this is exactly what ended up happening to me. I started going to the gym like 3-4 months ago, and I'm trying to balance it while still doing a ton of Fortnite related work, and I was still playing Fortnite a ton as well. The main reason I'm not putting it up into this max even though it's helped me get a lot better in the past 3-4 months, what can end up happening is rather than just being like a balanced player where think of something like Epic, right? He's a guy, goes to the gym, hits the weights, but he's still very balanced with how he plays the game, and it's fits in with his schedule. What ends up happening to a lot of people is they end up going to the gym and making it their whole personality. It's exactly what I'm saying. You end up becoming sort of a bodybuilder that plays cash cups on the weekends rather than becoming a Fortnite player that goes to the gym. I think for that reason I'm not going to put any higher than the pro tip. It fits in, and it makes total sense to go to the gym if you balance it. And what ended up happening to me like 3-4 years ago is I made going to the gym the whole thing. I was going to the gym for like 2-3 hours. Everything I was doing was leading up into that gym session a day. I wasn't really doing a ton of work back in like 2022 because I was so focused on going to the gym. And of course I got super ripped, I got really strong, I was like strong as I ever was. I was dead for like 230s, 180. I was super strong. I wasn't getting better at Fortnite because I spent too much effort into going to the gym. For that reason, I'm going to put it into the pro tip. Definitely it's fantastic if you can balance it. It's really, really good, and it helps you get better at Fortnite if you do it in
Become
balance.
variety,
Make sure
bro.
you're not injuring yourself by maxing out on the bench press and your wrist. You're going to be great, and it's going to help you a ton. All right, next we've got sleep right here, and sleep is something that is so underrated by people. Those people that message me saying, "Oh, I had an off day. I wasn't playing good yesterday for whatever reason." I'll ask them, "Oh, did you stay awake until 3 a.m. watching the football game? I was on the World Cup." And oh yeah, that was it. If you don't get a good night's sleep, guys, you're not going to get better at the gym. You're not going to get better at Fortnite. You're not going to get better at anything. It's education, whether it's even something you're trying to study for and learn. You're never going to get better unless you get good quality sleep. For that reason, I'm going to put sleep all the way up into the max. It's probably more useful than anything else up here. If you just try out Fortnite, and I'll try to be as unbiased as possible while I do this. And this is my genuine thoughts about how good these things are to actually pay for what to get, and if they'll actually help you, depending on what type of player you are. First off, we've got the solos masterclass. I'm going to be 100% guys. There's a reason why the solos masterclass works for like 900 players, even at the last summit land. Doesn't matter, a dozen or so players that I spoke to at that land that actually had the masterclass. There's so many good success stories. There's also so many people that buy it, don't really use it, don't really find it helpful, end up not using it, and not really applying stuff inside. And for that reason, I'm going to be and can be useful. If you're the type of person that can sit there and learn from the videos, apply it, actually get it, coach it. I'm going to put this straight into the pro tier above the solo. Useful, but there's a ton of coaches out there that are super great, like Zycoma, Negan. You guys can book directly with them. They'll be teaching you a ton of information and fix mistakes. And the main thing that a coach does, and the reason I'm picking the pro tip, is they just help spot mistakes that you probably wouldn't spot with like a year of doing your own reviews or a year of playing the game. They help you spot those mistakes instantly, and they help you come up with a solution.
Don't just take classes, take.
All right, that's Reese's sub. All right, well, that's Destiny Jesus ranking every way to get better at Fortnite. If you guys did enjoy the video and you learned something new, please like, subscribe. I'm trying to become variety and not only stuck on Fortnite. And help me out. All right, peace.